Yo, welcome to All Things Covered with Patrick Peterson and Bryant McFadden, part of the CBS Sports Podcast Network. The name says it all. If you like what you hear, make sure you leave us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. You can also watch us on YouTube. Just visit youtube.com/all things covered. So make sure you subscribe and turn on your alerts so you can get the show right away. Pat P, what are we going to cover on this episode?
Oh, Mac, man, we're going to start off with some sad news in the golf world. Hearing about the Tiger Woods scary accident in California. We also going to catch up with, we're going to talk about our normal segments that we always talk about, like Has Pat Heard, 21 questions. And then we're going to catch up with one of my favorite running backs to ever play the game, two-time champ, Shady McCoy. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. You guys know what time it is. First quarter of our show, and here's where we chop it up. In this Chopping It Up segment, we're going to take a trip down the NFL Combine memory lane. A lot of prospects won't get a chance to experience the NFL tradition this year because of the pandemic, but we wanted to revisit ours, right? So later in the show, we'll visit Has Pat Heard? You know what I mean? Where we throw out some information to Pat to see if he actually heard the information. But in this segment, I'm going to hit Pat with his own combine trivia, to say the least. And for you guys that really rock with Pat P, y'all know exactly his numbers that he put up in Indy that led to him potentially being drafted in the top 5, historical big time numbers. So I'm going to test Pat P right now
Matt,
to see.
And also those numbers too was the performance of the day too, by the way. Just throw that out there.
You said the point, what was the numbers?
The numbers that I had at the combine, I received. They give out the player of the day at each day. I received the player of the day during my combine.
Okay, workout. So that means
I might remember these numbers. These numbers.
Hey, them numbers brought you a whole lot of money. A whole lot of money. Shout out to AB.
Hey, man, when I ran that 40, man, when I ran that 40, I had some 3-carat. That's when I thought I was doing something. Had them 3-carat diamonds in my ear from my boy Jack Sutton out of New Orleans. Yeah. And thing was bouncing, Mac, running that 4.34. That's probably one of the first questions you're going to ask me.
Okay. No, my first question I'm going to ask you is this. What was your 40 time?
4.34.
4.31.
Now, so, see, here we go. So 4.31 is unofficial. 4.34 is my official time because I have it. I have the cleats and my sign. I actually had a couple scouts that told me that they had me clocked on their hand at 4.29. So 4.31 is unofficial. 4.34 is official.
It's official. Okay. All right. How many reps you did on the bench?
Oh,
we got him.
16, I think.
Nope.
No, 15.
15.
15.
What was your vertical?
37.
Nope.
38?
38.
Okay. I'm one off of all these, man.
Yep. Do you remember your broad jump? Now, see, this is the issue that I have with broad jumps. It's either, you can do it with the inches or the feet. Do you remember what you jumped?
I do mine by the feet. 10.6.
10.6. So 126 inches. I don't know what's the equivalent of that when it comes. That's right.
E.
Yeah, that's right.
All that is E. 10.6. All right.
Yeah. All right. Your 3 cone.
Talk to me, Matt.
3 cone.
Ooh, that's a good one. But I think I was a 6.31.
Nope. You were in the 6s.
I know I was in the 6. Oh, it might have been 6. It might have been 6.01.
6.58.
I know it's a 1. 6.58. Okay, I thought it was a 1 in there somewhere. You got me on that one. I definitely did not remember that one.
You're above 500. You got 2 wrong. You're above 500. That's good.
Yeah. What you remember from your combine, Matt?
Well, my combine was a little different than yours. That was 2005. So I didn't do everything at the combine. I ran my 40. I ran my 40 at Pro Day.
Okay.
I did my vertical at the combine. Huh?
I said you was caught these on with the Mars, man. You was a curl king, man. How many times you hit the bench press? You remember your reps?
Bench press 23.
What was your broad jump? Hey, man, you was jumping out the building, Jack.
Broad jump was about a 10.9.
If you go, see how yours came in inches too, though.
What inches? Because if yours was
100. What was mine in inches?
126.
Oh, we got the same one then. We 10-6, both 10-6.
10-6. But I
And
jumped
you
a higher. I jumped
5.
a higher broad. I jumped a longer
Yeah.
broad jump at pro day.
Oh, okay. And you
Yeah, I
had
jumped
38.5 on your vert.
on the vert, 38 and a half.
Yeah, 38 and a half.
I don't even
Hey, man,
remember 3-cone. What was my 3-cone?
Yeah. It don't have just have those 3 stats.
Okay.
What you running the 40? I know you're at least a 4.4, huh?
Yeah. Pro day was like anybody. They had me in between anywhere between 4.42 to 4.48.
Okay. And you worked out with Tom, right? Down in New Orleans.
Shaw. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir. I had a short stint in New Orleans, out of Kenner, Louisiana.
Yeah. My neck of the woods.
Yeah. How was it for you going to the combine, being able to balance the workouts and then getting prepared for the interviews? Because a lot of people don't realize that when we're preparing for the combine, the actual drills, we're not just preparing for the physical part. You also got to prepare for the mental part, being able to dissect and understand and answer the questions properly, football related questions or just, normal day-to-day life type questions. So how was that process for you being able to balance both the physical requirements of the combine and the mental requirements?
Mac, I always allude to, having the ability to have family members to go through that process and being able to talk with them throughout my process as I was getting, going through the combine and, going through the drafting process. So, hearing stories from you and, getting kind of the one leg up on other guys that's there, because you got to think about it. Most guys that are getting drafted, it's not many other people that been in a situation or a scenario that they're going through. You know what I mean? And so, listening to the stories, how, you tell me like it's going to be all drawn out, with the medical staff, doing all these meetings. So my mind was already prepared for all of that. Most guys go in there, they hear about it, but don't really have no real insight about it. So honestly, I was just ready to go. I was prepared to kill, like go out there. I know I was going to test well. That was a given because that's all I did leading up to that point. And talking to people, that was easy. You know what I mean? I know football, I love talking football. So that was easy. Me talking in front of people, I never had a problem with that. So for me, I thought the combine was a breeze. To be honest with you, people always talk about these horror stories. Yeah, it was long and drawn out, but my reasoning behind it, why they do that, just trying to see how you handle pressure, how you able to, how can your body react when it's under stress? And that's my whole thought process. I believe what the combine is for is, how deep are you willing to dig to perform at your best? You know what I mean? And I think that's what they do for those 4 days, because we don't have to be there for them 4 days or them 3 days, however long that we're there for. They're just trying to see how mentally tough you are.
No doubt. All things covered. Patrick Peterson, Bryant McFadden. Make sure you guys stay tuned. We got a special guest join us later in the show after halftime. LeSean Shady McCoy will be joining us. He has a lot to say about Tom Brady retiring, Hall of Fame. But you got to stay tuned to hear exactly what he will be saying right after halftime. But now we got to transition to a different part of the show. You know what I mean? Not the exciting, enthusiastic news that we usually provide for you guys. Somber news to say the least. Tiger Woods injured in a car crash. Pat P loves Tiger Woods. I call him Baby Tiger all the time because he's on the golf course just as much as Tiger Woods. But what were your thoughts when you heard the news about the car crash, and then not knowing exactly, the situation for Tiger being involved in that car crash?
Man, it was crazy because I was on the golf course when it happened. It kind of put me in the first thing that happened. The first thing that came to my mind is I was on the golf course when Kobe passed.
Yeah.
So I was like, damn, like, no, this can't be happening. Because I had got an alert on my phone said Tiger just got into a single car accident. So I literally stopped my round. I'm like, hell no, man. I literally stopped. I let groups go through it and everything. So I'm checking my phone, trying to get, information. And it wasn't really any, it was very, very minimum information out there. And, when, you heard all these reports that his leg may get cut off and, broke both
similar
legs.
to Kobe, you didn't know exactly what was legit.
So I'm like,
you heard everything.
God, damn, man, like I just hope everything's okay. So that literally messed up my whole day. So then when, more information started to come out about, that he was, very responsive. Obviously the news about, his leg, being amputated, that was false, but he is going to have a long road of recovery. So the biggest thing right now is just, he's alive and being able to spend time with his family, spend time with his kids, his loved ones, because Justin Thomas hit it right on the head. Um, you know, you don't say how much you appreciate people
Mm-hmm.
enough while they're here. So it just makes you think about we always think as athletes, we're untouchable, especially like Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, those names, they're like gods, nothing can happen to them. And,
Yeah.
for it to, happen to Tiger just a week ago, it's definitely tragic news to the golf community, to the fans, to the sports of the
Yes.
fans of the fans of the sport, so but hopefully they send everything is looking pretty good right now. I think they, gonna have to have multiple surgeries to make sure. I hear they may have to have some skin graft
Mm-hmm.
procedures. So, like I said, it looked like it's going to be a lengthy road to recovery, but the main thing is that he is still here with us.
No doubt. And just the respect that Tiger has, from the sporting world, people were definitely concerned,
Mhm.
and devastated, not knowing exactly the in-depth information regarding the crash. But like you said, it seems like he will make a recovery, to say the least. Several golfers, they honored Tiger by wearing
One of the red
red
shirts.
on Sunday. So
I
that's
thought
the
that was
respect.
dope.
Yeah,
That
that
was
was
dope.
dope. So, Pat, the next time you're on the golf course, probably which would be tomorrow, I think you should rock your red polo.
Nah, you only can wear it on Sundays, Mac.
Only on
It's
Sundays?
only
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
only on
Okay.
Sunday. And the thing is though, Mac, I'm such a huge, huge Tiger fan. I never wore a red shirt, a red golf shirt with black pants. I never
Why?
wore it because I don't know, just I said, man, that's Tiger look, man. I can't be stealing
Oh,
the goat
okay.
look.
Okay. I got you. I got
Yeah,
you.
that's why most golfers don't do it either though. If you ever
Uh-huh. Out
notice,
of respect of
most
Tiger.
yeah, they do not wear red and black shirt and black pants.
Yeah. Well,
That's Tiger look.
yeah, it was devastating news, but like you said, I received the alert on my phone as well. Shout out to CBS Sports app. It keep me updated with all the alerts, and hearing that and seeing that, I was like, man, not again.
Yeah.
We've seen so much happen to,
And at
you
the
know,
beginning of the year too, that happened,
yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's like, no, man.
yeah. But hopefully, Tiger will make a full recovery and
Mhm.
eventually be able to have the normalcy that he had before the car crash, and we continue to, send our prayers to him and his family. In other news in sports here in the country, LeBron James won't just stick to sports. That message came from soccer star Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Came out and said LeBron just needs to stick to sports. Was big time news. His statement basically went viral. LeBron's response went viral this past Friday. And Zlatan came out and said, "This is his statement, Pat P, listeners and viewers. LeBron is phenomenal at what he's doing, but I don't like when people have some kind of status. They go and do politics at the same time. Do what you're good at. Do the category you do. I play football, soccer, because I'm the best in playing football, soccer. I don't do politics." Of course, LeBron came out with a professionally response. And at the end of the day, I would never shut up about things that are wrong. I preach about my people. I preach about equality, social injustice. And his final thing that he said is, "There's no way I would ever just stick to sports because I understand this platform and how powerful my voice is." So Pat P, of course, LeBron has been extremely vocal and, racially, injustice to people of color, politics. The list can go on and on. Just being an activist, to say the least. Working in the community, doing a lot outside of putting the ball in the rim. And why is LeBron's message so important? And do you agree with Zlatan or do you disagree with him?
No, I don't agree with Zlatan. I believe LeBron has always been consistent, from day one about how he feel about, the justice system, the the inequality that, like he alluded to, his people, don't receive. So, he's always been the same way, every time these situations come up. And he's right. His voice is very powerful. Why would he just, like, the one lady told him to shut up and dribble?
Yep.
LeBron is a world icon.
No question.
He is damn near bigger than the president. You know what I mean?
He's very, very influential.
And when he says something, people get behind him and listen and follow suit. So LeBron is definitely a people's champ, and I don't think he's definitely never going to shut up about whatever he feels that is right. But no, man, LeBron, man, that man, he's a people's champion. Like, he always just does it the right way, and like I say, he's always been consistent, throughout the years.
And one thing about this particular player in Zlatan, he played in LA. He played with the Galaxy over a year or so ago. Now he's with AC Milan. And, he basically released this statement not even in the country. You know what I mean? So he felt some type of way about some of the things that LeBron has been doing. But my thing is this: if you feel some type of way about LeBron and his opinion about politics, number one, I like LeBron being able to show how adverse he is, because he does his homework before jumping into something. You know what I mean? So he understands what he's talking about. He does his homework to some degree. And then if you look at LeBron, he has the I Promise school with more than 450 students. That's huge. When you look at Zlatan talking about politics, why you didn't say anything about that? Right? Why you didn't say, hey, just stick to sports. You shouldn't, endorse or create schools, create opportunities for kids to be able to learn the appropriate way to be able to earn a college opportunity. Why you didn't say anything about that? Why you didn't say anything about the investments that LeBron has been involved in? You know what I mean? Blaze Pizza and things like that. I think LeBron has even invested in a soccer team.
Yeah, he's part owner.
Part owner of a soccer team.
I don't know the team names, but yeah, he is.
Yeah. So why are you, criticizing LeBron takes on politics when he is a guy that votes? He has the right to vote. So if he has the right to vote, he shouldn't have an opinion about anything political related.
Liverpool.
You know what I mean? So Liverpool, that's the team that he's invested in. So for Zlatan, come on. I definitely don't agree with him. I agree with you right there, Pat P. I don't agree with him because you're not being critical about I Promise School. You're not being critical about the investments. Liverpool, you're not being critical about other things that he's doing in the community, but you're being critical about LeBron's take or opinion on politics. It seems like this is a personal issue with Zlatan, and it's not just about what LeBron is saying. It's because LeBron is saying it. That's the thing. It's because who the person is in delivering the message, and because of that, he does not like the message. Now, time for my favorite part of the show. You guys know it up. You know what time it is. You know what it is. Has Pat heard? Has Pat heard? Real quick for the listeners, first-time listeners or first-time viewers, this is a part of the show we decided to implement because Pat P is in vacation mode. He's golfing, he's working out, or he's in the air traveling somewhere. And because of that, he's not really in tune to what is going on around him in the sports world. So we decided to implement this segment. So far, his overall record, 7 of 12. He's above 500, so he's doing a pretty good job. Number one thing for Pat P, and has Pat heard? J.J. Watt signed with the Cardinals. I know this is.
Of course, I heard that.
We just wanted to throw that one out there just to make sure. All right. What do you take on the fit? You know what I mean? J.J. Watt coming to the Cardinals. You're a free agent. Hassan Reddick is a free agent. You know what I mean? What do you think about the fit with J.J., and how will this affect your career with the Cardinals? Either staying or going elsewhere. Will it have any means to what they will do with you, do you think?
I think it's a great pickup. For Chandler, for him to have, somebody on the other side of him that can attract the same attention that he can, free him up a little bit more. Obviously, it makes it easier for the guys on the back end when you can have, two dogs that can get after the quarterback. That's their specialty, I believe. I played since 2012. They're 1 and 2 in sacks and like 96.5, and I think Chandler may have 90. I can't remember which one is first, but they both got 90 plus sacks since 2012.
I think Chandler is first.
Okay, which is unbelievable. So I think it's a great match. I can't wait to see, how those guys end up, playing with each other. And to answer your second question, you never know what's going to happen. I think, with that, with them adding a piece like JJ Watt, it definitely, makes you, think about, your future here or, whatever it may be. But, Steve is doing a great job of trying, to put together a good team. And it was a great splash to start off, the 21 season.
There we have it. There we have it. And when it comes to Pat P and the Arizona Cardinals, I know you wouldn't have an issue in playing with JJ and Chandler. And heck,
Right.
if you can sign Hassan Reddick back at the right cause, I think you would be okay being in that secondary, having those guys rush the pass up front. But it's going to be a fun off season for our very own Pat P as we ride this free agency train with Mr. Peterson.
Yes, sir.
All right. The next question in Has Pat Heard? Now, this is a good one. I can't wait. Boy, if you get this one, I'm going to be okay. Pat been on dry land too much. He need to get in the air.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, what's happening? Hey,
Russell Wilson rumors, they're starting to heat up again, Pat P. All right. He said he doesn't want to be traded, but if he were to be traded, he has a list of 4 teams, which doesn't make any sense to me because if you don't want to be traded, why do you have a list of teams you would like to go to if they were to trade you? Read between the lines on that one.
Right.
Okay, so he has a list of 4 teams. We're not going to ask you to get all 4 teams right? Mm-hmm. But can you get 2 of the 4 teams that he would like to be traded to if he got traded? Can you get 2 of the 4 teams?
I know one of them for sure because I follow Devin Hester on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I saw what he posted today. He was like, "Oh man, it's gonna be wild if we can get Russell Wilson. I'm going to the first 5 games." So I'm assuming it's Chicago.
Okay, that's one.
Okay,
that's one. And then I'll give you a hint. The next 3 in the 3 of you have 2 NFC, 1 AFC.
NFC 1. Oh, I do know the one NFC because my mother-in-law just told me about this last night.
Oh man, yeah. You got some whole. Okay,
hey,
you got a whole cookie.
Check this out. This was so funny, man. So my mother-in-law, she was like, "Hey Patrick, have you heard about what the mayor of New Orleans did?" I'm like, "No, what happened?" She was like, she tweeted out saying, "Yeah, Russell, you could come on to New Orleans. We'll welcome you with open arms." They said, "Man, the city of New Orleans." I mean, they tried to bury that lady. It was like, Drew Brees haven't even retired.
He ain't even retired yet. I mean, the body's still warm, and the body ain't got cold yet.
So that's the reason why I knew those 2.
Okay.
But who the other 2 though?
Okay, so it's the Raiders and the Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Yeah.
Oh, he would want to get traded there. Oh, I can see that.
Yeah. Well, heck, they got Dak. What they gonna do? Gonna ship Dak to Seattle?
They gonna still need a quarterback. Why not?
Yeah. Hey man, curly hair Russell Wilson feels some type of way because you don't come out and say I don't want to be traded, but if I get traded, these are the list of the teams. These are the teams I want to go to.
No, he's saying it. He's saying he want to be traded, but he coming out and saying that he's not asking for the trade.
Yeah.
Like you said, read between the lines. He wanted to be traded, but he's not saying, "Oh, he's playing that political role. I don't want to be traded, but
if I get traded, here's where I want to go."
Exactly. If I get traded, here's the teams.
It's like telling you, "Hey, I don't want a new car, but if you were to get me a car, these are the cars I want."
Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And on top of that, he has the no trade clause. So at the end of the day, he controls his own destiny.
So hearing this, do you think, I know last week or 2 weeks ago you said Russell's not going anywhere. Do you think he potentially could get traded now?
I still don't think they trade Russell.
There's
no way you can't. I mean, only way I trade Russell if I'm getting another franchise quarterback or a caliber franchise quarterback in return, and I need all your first round draft picks for the next 5 years.
Yeah. And so my thing is this: if you look at the teams, we're going to transition to 21 questions just here in a second. If you're Seattle and Russell is disgruntled, he want to be out of there, I tell the Cowboys, you give me Dak Prescott, you give me 3 first rounders, and you give me Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah.
Now,
I mean,
if I'm Seattle, I take that
all day.
I'm taking that because think about Seattle don't have first rounders coming up the next 2 years because they traded them away to freaking to the Jets for Jamal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you pay Dak Prescott, you're probably going to pay him probably a little less than what you're already paying Russell. Anyway, now the contract is going to be very, very difficult because Zeke
That's
Elliott
going
is
to be
getting a handsome ransom. But you're going to give me a starter along with Dak Prescott and 3 first-rounders. If I'm Seattle, I do that.
Yeah, I take that all day.
I'll take that.
But yeah, and I take that for sure all day.
I'm taking it. I'm not even thinking twice. And I love curly hair Russell Wilson. He's a
I
bad
do too.
man. But
No
if you're
doubt about
telling
it.
me I can get another younger quarterback who could be a little cheaper and still
3
give me
first-rounders
and 3 first-rounders and a
and
pro
Zeke.
and Zeke, man, please.
I can't turn that down.
No. Or you're gonna give me one of your offensive superstars. You're gonna give me a lineman or somebody. I'm getting a starter.
Yeah, the quarterback, Dak, if that was to happen, Dak got to be in the package, obviously, because they
and we pay him.
They can't play both of those.
Let's and listen, like I said, if Russell Wilson didn't want to get traded, he wouldn't have a list of teams.
Right.
And publicly put that information out there. But it's a sticky situation. Like I said, free agency is going to be a fun ride for all of us as we watch from afar, or if you're actually involved in it. But Russell Wilson is going to be top of the list when it comes to free agency news or trading news, because we're going to see exactly what happens with curly hair Russell Wilson. Now it's time for 21 questions. 21 questions is where we get a chance to interact with you, the fan, the listeners, the viewers. If you want to have your question be answered here in the future, just leave a question and attach a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, and we'll get a chance to get it on the show. We'll answer your question. This week, we got a nice question coming from Abraham Calderon. Really appreciate y'all's discussion last week on players dealing with CTE. Was really insightful to hear from the players. Thanks for being so open. Do you think young players are getting the information necessary to make informed decisions on pursuing a career? Would it make a difference, or would the love of the game, competition, and an opportunity to improve financial circumstances still win out? So quite a few questions in there. Number one, do you think young players are getting the right information to make informed decisions on in pursuing a career? Number two, would it make a difference, or would the love of the game, competition still win out? Thank you, Abraham, for sending this big important question. Thank you for leaving us a 5-star rating as well. Like I said, if you would like to have your question answered here on the show, make sure you attach a 5-star rating to your question.
You want to answer that? Was that for me, or that's for both of us?
That's for both of us. That's for both of us. Number one, Pat P, do you think young players are getting the right information necessary to make informed decisions on pursuing a career in football?
In football, okay.
Yeah.
I believe so. I believe they're giving, more information, now, and more outlets that they ever have when you was coming out and when I was coming out.
No question.
So I believe the outlets now that, kids have growing up that want to make a career in football is definitely a lot easier for them. The technology is different and a lot more enhanced, just the things that they're able to do as far as traveling. We wasn't able to travel state to state. Furthest we went was, Tallahassee, to a football camp. These kids now go to California, Texas, Alabama to compete to compete against others to help make their skills better. And by going to those different camps, you get to learn from different coaches. You get to learn from different people and get different information as you're trying to pursue your career on, how to, make your game better, or how to make better decisions. So I think now definitely these kids in this day and age are getting all the information that they need to make the proper decision on if they want to pursue football as a career.
I agree with you 110%, Pat P. Years ago, I wasn't the same. You know what I mean? It was almost like if you sustain a concussion in a ball game, you come out a few plays, get some smelling salt, they put you right back in the fire. Now, if you get, concussed, or even show symptoms of a concussion, they're taking you out of the ball game. I think they're educating the young players more in depth, leading up to, the level of play, going to Pop Warner level, high school level. Clearly in collegiately, they're emphasizing concussions are things to look forward to. So yes, they're getting more information. It's still a lot of steps that need to be made. But the game of football, you can't make it overly safe because you have to remove some elements of the game that we love, which is tackling, which is the collisions, which is people moving full speed. That will always be attached to the game of football. But what you can do is, educate the players and educate the medical staff and things to look for and seeing, things to look out for. You know what I mean? And they've done a real good job. And when his last question, when it comes to the love of the game, competition, opportunity, improved financial circumstances still went out. Yeah, because Abraham, you got to look at a lot of players that play football, at least 60%, come from difficult situations. And this is their way out. This is their talent that they've been able to have based on what God has blessed them with. And they're able to utilize that talent to change their lives, to change people lives that are associated with them. So yes, it would still went out. You know what I mean? There's a chance you take in certain professions. And, just when it comes to the game of football, especially depending on the position you play, the chance that you take is, bruises, injuries, you know what I mean? Above the shoulder injuries sometimes when it comes to the head collisions and things like that. But it's a process. They've come a long way, to say the least. They're not stagnant like they were how it was back in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. It's a different type of game. But we appreciate the question coming from Abraham Calderon. Like I said, if you'd like to have your question answered in the show, just leave us a 5-star rating attached to the question, and me and Pat P will get to it. Now, it's halftime for us, but before we get to our guest, and like I said, our guest is LeSean McCoy. He has a lot to say, very, very entertaining conversation coming up in a few. We want to let you guys know that you now can find All Things Covered content on Facebook. Yes, we're on Facebook, and it's good that we're on Facebook because we have a lot of older fans that love the show, but they only tap in Facebook. Older people only deal with Facebook. They don't deal with Twitter and Instagram. So we want to make sure we have
friends.
we have our content available for everybody, right? Any age demographic. But we're on Facebook right now. Search All Things Covered Pod and give us a like and a follow. We'll feature the best clips from the show and be able to interact more with our fans. So we're on Facebook. Make sure you give us a like and a follow. Now, it's halftime for us, but on the opposite side of the half, we'll be joined by a 2-time champion, one of the best running backs of his generation, a guy that has a lot to say, a very, very entertaining individual, not to mention, like I said, he's a top-tier running back. LeSean McCoy will be joining us on the opposite side of the half. Stay tuned.
All decade.
We back from halftime, All Things Covered. Patrick Peterson, Bryant McFadden. We promise you guys a special guest. Every week we will deliver like the mailman, 7 days a week. This is a special guest, a guy I've been knowing for a long, long time. When he was a young little pup, now he's a grown man. Now he's a 2-time champion, 6-time Pro Bowler, 2-time first-team All-Pro, 15,000 career yards, 89 career touchdowns, member of the 2010 All-Decade team alongside my guy, Pat P. And like I said, when you mention him, when you refer to him, when you introduce him, you got to say 2-time Super Bowl champion, LeSean Shady McCoy. Thank you for joining us here on All Things Covered. Number one, you're rocking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers gear. I know you're still feeling good from that championship victory a few weeks ago. How you feeling?
I'm good. Just to give you a little correction. If you count on rushing and receiving, it's like 93 touchdowns. Just to be accurate.
93. We cannot shortchange my guy.
No,
every touchdown
please,
matters.
I need every bit of it.
No question.
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just off the Super Bowl run. It was a nice run, man. And the best part been like the party. Because we've been like in quarantine and with the team, we can't really see our family like that. So now it's changed where it's a little bit of freedom. A lot of guys on the team from working together every day to actually going to lunch, going to dinners, stepping out, having a drink or two. So it's been a nice little vibe, man. And the weather's great.
Oh, I no question. We both from Florida, so we know how the weather in the Sunshine State is. And one thing we like to highlight here on our show, anytime we have a guest on, usually good things happen for them. We've often called our show the rabbit's foot for whoever the guest is joining us, because good things usually happen. But one could say you are a rabbit foot as well. If you look at your last 2 seasons, I mean, the 2 teams you've been part of, they've won championships. You know what I'm saying? So talk about that journey and being able to have the unthinkable happen in your career, being able to be a part of the right organizations and being able to help them hoist that sticky Lombardi.
Oh man, it's been a nice run. I mean, I think about like all my prime years when I was really doing it at a high level, but I wasn't winning, and it was getting to a point where my career was winding down. I'm like, dang, will I get a ring? Will I get a championship? And then things didn't work out in Buffalo, money-wise, and I moved on to Kansas City with my old coach, with Andy Reid, and that whole team and organization. We found a chance to get a ring there when we did that, and then I moved on to Tampa Bay when they were stacking up players. And even with that team, like, I was considering retiring. I'm like, look, I had a couple teams hit me up trying to holler at me to come play. But I'm like, man, I listen, I'm done. I'm not going to go from, Mahomes and all that, Andy Reid and that team to just playing for any team. And I want to do it. And then Tampa Bay called, and with BA. By the way, BA, he loves you too, dog. He always talks, highly about you. But anyway, and they called and I talked to Tom and other guys. I said, I'm gonna go to Tampa, and then sure enough, we did it again.
Man, that's awesome, man. BA's my guy, by the way.
He loved you.
I gotta ask you this though. How was it being able to play for literally the two faces of the league, Mahomes and Brady? Is there any comparison?
It was great, man, because there's a lot of comparisons, I think, with them two, but then they're also different. One is 43 years old. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
He talks about taking shots of avocado. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay. You know what I mean? So he's a little different, but like they're both are leaders and they lead different ways. Right. Mahomes is younger, so he leads a little bit more by his play. As far as, we down, he'll spin out of a tackle, run around, throw a sidearm, them type of things. Right. When we need it. And Tom is more like the whole week, he's kind of preparing you, teaching you. I mean, this Super Bowl run we had, we get the extra time off. And the whole week, 2 weeks leading up to the game, he's preparing us. Every D-back, every safety, every linebacker, he's letting us know everything about detail. And then when we're not with him, he's sending like audios and videos and coaching us up. So they're very similar in how they lead, man, but also kind of different. And I think just the age and then the experience. Like, people forget that Pat, man, he's still young. It's only like his second, third year really starting, really playing.
Right.
That's the scary part. You know what I mean? So
and
Tom comes from like a different point of like experience.
Wow.
Right.
Well,
so can you see Pat Mahomes touching Tom Brady as far as in Super Bowl appearances?
I think when Tom Brady, when he looks at other quarterbacks from young to old, I think he feels like Pat is probably the only one that gets it, that will have a shot.
Right.
For example, like most quarterbacks, they take the money. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna take the money, I'm gonna get paid, this and that. Tom didn't do that. Tom saved money, right? And sprinkled out within his organization with his players, on defense, on offense. Pat the same way. Okay, listen, man, I'm gonna be good, but I'm only as good as my team. So now I signed a deal like that where I could pay the defensive tackle or defensive end to get the pressure, the cornerbacks, or my superstar tight end, or my Tyreek Hill. Like, you can do them things, or my left tackle. You can do that when you're not taking all the money. And I think when Tom kind of sees that, he always talks about how, like, Mahomes, he gets it. Like, he's a dude that wants to be the greatest. You know what I mean? So I think Pat has a great chance. And he's starting so early.
Yeah. Very early.
He already got 2 appearances under his belt. You know what I mean? Like you said, in 3 years of starting. So, and nowadays, quarterbacks playing clearly in their late 30s and their 40s.
Yeah, 40s.
Yeah, in their 40s nowadays. So he has a legit shot. But heck, we don't even know when Tom Brady gonna sit down. So he might just continue to add to the resume.
Hey, look, he wants to.
Keep taking the shots of avocado.
Tom's so humble, it's crazy, yo. But he got that thing from like, okay, look, y'all know who I am. Like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know who I am. He really humble, but he got that to him.
Yeah. I like that about him because most quarterbacks don't showcase that. You know what I mean? Most quarterbacks don't display that type of skill set or attitude on the football field. Tell us a little more about this Tom Brady group chat that we've been hearing about. How often is he texting the group? Is it late? Is it early? Who's all in that chat?
Just like the skill guys, the guys that was active, and just the matchups who you'll see this week. And the crazy thing is, like, everything he'll tell us and talks about, it happens. Because you never really know, you know what I'm saying, what defense you will face or the technique. You don't really know. You think, because everybody plays each game different. Now I think the defense will stay true to who they are, you know what I'm saying? But they will have some changes. Like you expect cover 2 the whole game, coming out, and then they play man or they man too high. Like you never know. But majority of the time, Tom be on it. Like, yo, they're gonna be bump runners, they're gonna play us, they're gonna challenge us, and it happens.
Yeah.
So the group chat is just about 8 guys, 8, 9 guys.
So it's only football related content in the chat. That's you guys want to talk about football.
Tom's real professional. He hang out a little. He has a good time. You know what I'm saying? But mostly it's business, especially around the times like the playoffs. That's another thing. His intensity went up. Like it was cool. It was cool. I'm serious. I'm more serious. Playoffs, all right. We done with the plan. We serious.
Yeah.
The Super Bowl. Oh, he was another level. Like, look, ain't no horse playing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Ain't none of that.
Right.
We had Coach Larry Foote on, and Coach told us, we had Foot Doctor on. Foot was telling us, like, on air, Tom Brady is buckled up like his actual game. You know what I mean? Going through the reads with the running backs or the wide receivers, he's buckled up. He's going through the motions like it's an actual game. Real talk. Everything. Like strapped up. You know what I'm saying? The walkthroughs. He got them big boots, cleats on. He got them laced up tight. You know what I'm saying? And look, and if you get him, see, I instigate a little bit, so I get him going. I'm like, I don't know, Tom. Like you're scrambling. It's like, come on. Look, for like a couple of weeks, he was racing dudes, like the quarterbacks, coaches. He a competitor. You know what I mean? He let it compete. Right. So he different, He's a different dude.
I bet he is, man. And we from the outside looking in, you had the opportunity to be there with him. We can only imagine. But we's trying to get to the bottom of who was crying still, man. Cause we had Foot on, we got Levante on. Who was crying?
NFC Championship game, man. We try to figure out who actually was crying.
Hey, man, I can't give you that.
Say, man, knock it off.
Look, and then the whole time, Tom looked at him like, you serious?
So tell me this. We heard it was somewhere in a skill position offensive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You getting hot, you warming up. Look, he looked at him like, all right. At first he looked like, damn, maybe it was like a definite family or something, right? Something. Right. He crying like that. He boo-hooing it up. He looked like, son, we ain't done nothing yet. We ain't done.
Right.
It had to been some wide receivers because Shady ain't saying if it's in the running backs. It's running backs.
This is what I will say. I ain't my young boys. I ain't letting none of that crying. We ain't doing none of that crying.
Right.
Until at least we win it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Right,
no
you
doubt.
got to win it all for sure.
I guess right now it's safe to say we can assume because Levante came on and he chimed in about it, and Foot also because Foot said he was looking around like he kept hearing some sniffling, like someone passed. So everybody was trying
to. I think Tom took his number. They changed jersey numbers or something like that.
You talking about Godwin? Was it Chris Godwin?
Hey,
that's what you referred to.
You don't get it from me. I will say this: y'all heating up, boy. Woo.
Hey, no doubt. If it was Chris Godwin who was tearing up, man, he deserved a tear because he helped you guys host that Sticky Lombardi, and he's gonna get paid this year. That's for
Chris,
sure.
Nice.
It's still amazing how Chris had to learn how to catch that football too.
With his hand.
Yep.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing. That was pretty amazing.
Yo, Shady, what did you think about, during the Super Bowl game when you saw Tom Brady going at it with your former teammate and Tyrann Mathieu, the back and forth? And that's one thing I know people said it was a big deal and things like that, but I like to see a quarterback get involved in that ball game
in between the
that
lines.
level, in between the lines, like Pat P mentioned. But what were your take on that? Because I know you're good friends with Tyrann Mathieu. We had him on the show as well. So what was your thought process when you saw your two favorite guys, to say the least, going back and forth?
No, that's my guy. They're both my guys. I mean, especially with Tyrann, like if you know him, he respects all the great players. You know what I'm saying? He's one of them dudes that he gives a lot of respect out. So seeing him go at it, I know he's a competitor and he hates to lose. That's one thing about him practicing with him. He practiced really hard. So but then when him and Tom's going at it, I could see kind of how it went because Tom's a competitor. So he probably was like, touchdown. And Tyrann must have said something back to him. Tom might have said something back. And then I think what really happened is that's how it kind of happened. Then I think Tom was like, yo, no disrespect. Like, I ain't mean to come at you wrong. Because I guess Tyrann felt a certain way. I think he was like, I lost respect for you or something like that. Tom was like, yo, my bad. And I think when Tyrann said something back, Tyrann said something back.
Right.
Tom ran up on him like, look, it is what it is. Like, I try to say sorry. You didn't want it. It is what it is. So I think that's how it went down.
No doubt.
Tom a gangster, man. He got a little gangster into him. You gotta. Come on.
The way he talks trash is a little different, because I think when you look at quarterbacks that we, played against, Phillip Rivers is probably the one quarterback that everybody mentioned as a trash talker.
Yeah.
But Tom Brady has a different style of talking trash.
Different.
You know what I mean?
True.
It's totally different. Phillip Rivers, you can kind of hear him talking trash, you kind of laugh it off. But Tom Brady, he's coming at you. You know what I mean? He's really coming at you.
And then Tom, Tom a nice dude. You know what I'm saying? He's a good guy. He really is a good guy. He's a humble guy.
Mm-hmm.
So like even when he talks about trash, you gotta really get it out of him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He don't really.
You gotta push his buttons.
Oh, because he's humble. Like I'm like Tom, like yo, tell these dudes, let's do this, let's do that. He's more like but till you make him mad, then it'll come out. So I think Tyron must really push his buttons.
Yeah. Hey Shady, we talked about your career having 15,000+ yards, 93 total touchdowns. But you had a very, very unique ball handling, style. Would you advise other players to emulate that, or is it just unique to you?
I think players just be themselves. Whatever makes you comfortable. As Coach Reid, when I was a rookie, some of the coaches were like, hey, tuck the ball. And I was trying to concentrate on tucking the ball and doing all the right things like a robot, and Andy Reid would tell the coaches, yo, fall back, let him play his game. And as I got older and became who I was, or who I am, I would say, Coach, why you never made me tuck the ball? He said, hey, I let you play your game. Now, if you fumbled a couple times, it would be different. But you draft players to be themselves.
Yeah.
And I think that's why all his draft picks, they be successful, because he lets them play their game, man, and let their personality show.
Yeah, you can't turn players into robots. You never have a lot of players that reach their full potential. And a lot of coaches don't understand that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They want you to do it their way. Yeah. Let's jump in.
Is Andy Reid practices as hard as everybody say they are? Because I've been to BA practices too, and I think BA practices are hard. Is Andy Reid practices as hard as everybody say they are?
BA stuck in his ways. His practices are tough, but
no doubt about it.
he gonna work with you though. He gonna work with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Andy Reid tough. Look. When I came, real talk. When I came there, I didn't start. I had to, work my way in a little bit. Then eventually I beat my man out. I was starting for a couple games, right? I got kind of banged up, but I was fatigued from the practices. Like, yo, because I haven't probably since year 7. I probably practice twice a week. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I go there, they're like, hey, we young, we rolling, we good, we practicing. And I couldn't hang like that. You know what I mean? So that's how, we switched up whatever down the line. But Andy Reid practice is tough.
Yeah. That's what I hear.
Yeah.
It says to the ground, everything.
Oh my, old school.
Let's transition to the outstanding career of yours. You and Pat P could have been college teammates. At one point in time, I don't know if our listeners and viewers are aware of this, you both were commits to the University of Miami. Clearly didn't go. Yeah, Pat P committed to Miami. You committed to Miami as well. Didn't go to Miami. But what led to you ending up at Pittsburgh?
Well, first of all, I always thought that the best backs go to Miami. You know what I'm saying? So that was my thing. I got hurt, so they kind of they flaked on me with the offer. They kind of took it back a little bit. So I was like, cool. And then Pittsburgh and Penn State was my only 2 schools I had. That's when Paterno was still running things, and it was different. It was like military academy, So I couldn't do that. And then Tony Wanstead, everything he said, man, came true. He was like a real professional, like an NFL coach that's in a college situation. So it worked out. Fell in love with him, fell with the team. I fit in, and it worked out.
Yeah. And did I see? Because my former teammate, and obviously he went to Pittsburgh as well, I hear that Larry helped you make the decision to go pro. What did Larry say to you?
He said, yo, you know how he is. If you really know Larry, you know Larry. Larry,
go get that bread, man. Get that bread, man.
Go get that bread, man. Look. He said, I came out, he was 20-something, or he did, 2 years. He said, come out there, Shady, 2 years, leave. Get that money. Come on.
Yeah, I already know.
Because my brother played with the Cardinals. So that's how I met Fitz. You know, that one, them type of things. And then when I took off and all that, my second year, going into my second year, he hooked me up with everybody. And that was great, yo. For Larry, he a great dude. He's funny as hell, though. You know it.
Yeah, he is.
He about that money, though. Look at that money.
Hey, no doubt about it.
He gave you great advice. It all worked out for you.
Yeah, right.
No
Nah,
doubt
real talk.
about it.
Yeah.
Hey, it all worked out for you. Andy Reid drafted you to Philly. He then brought you to Kansas City, where you won your first championship ring. What influence has he had on your career?
Oh, that's my big guy, man. Like, that's this. I mean, I just think about just coming into it. You know, I was 20 years old. I was young. I was immature. I come for nothing. You know, and I just wanted to play. He gave me a shot. You know, he let me be myself. He changed my life and my family's life. So, forever grateful and thankful. Even to this day, we still text and talk. That's my guy. I mean, the Super Bowl, I was messing with him like, "Hey, coach, man, y'all gonna lose this game." You know, Jack for the game.
Yeah.
You know, but he's one of them dudes that everybody loves. Like his first championship, he won. You should see how many players, coaches, ex-players were rooting for him because he has that thing about him that everybody loves, man. And the one thing I like about him also, he believes in giving guys second chances. A lot of these coaches in this league, man, you do one thing wrong, it's like they mark you. He's not like that. He's been through a lot with his family, you know, and he thinks, hey, man, he's real spiritual. And he's like, we all make mistakes, you know, and who am I not to give this guy a second chance? That whole thing we did with Michael Vick, I was so happy for him. Like, wow, this guy gave this guy another chance, you know, to you know, emphasize his career and help him out.
Right. Well, after Andy Reid, your next head coach was Chip Kelly, and we all knew. We all knew what Chip Kelly did on the college level. But did you? Obviously, we know that's not your favorite. But what was your expectations, knowing the style that he had coming into Philly, matching up with yours?
I wasn't sure. I mean, I watched some of the Oregon backs. They all did good, so I knew that it was a good system for running backs. I didn't really know much about him. He was cool. I mean, I'll say this: he was very smart. He's very intelligent. You know, but I just think that the pros is different.
No question.
Yeah.
You know, you can't treat people. You know, you can't treat people different. You can't not different, but you can't treat them bad. You know, you can't kind of yell at them and all that.
Especially
treat them like they're kids. They grown up. So I think he learned from that though. I mean, I think if he came back, he would be different.
I don't think he's coming back. I mean, he's going to need to stay.
No,
Some coach needs to stay on the collegiate level.
He's one of
real talk. I mean, he's struggling over there now.
No doubt. Man, you got 2 rings now, Shady. But what was it like to see your former team in the Philadelphia Eagles in 2017 win a championship with Nick Foles, a lot of guys that you played with when you were there in Philly, being able to get to that level? What was that feeling like for you, seeing them win?
A lot of them dudes I played with, we still tight. You know, it's like Fletcher Cox. We text here and there, we talk. You know, Vinny Carey, you know, Nick Foles, Sproles. Me and Sproles are we still tight. So all them guys playing, like I want them guys do well. I mean, we all homies. It sucked a little bit that I couldn't be there. I think about like all my championships I've won. I wish that I could have brought one back to Philadelphia because that's home for me. My hometown's an hour away.
Right.
You know, they retired my jersey. Since I left, 25 hasn't been worn, you know, since.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Look hard. You ain't gonna see him. You know what
That's
I mean?
big. Man, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
So knowing that, it's like, dang, I wish I could have brought that back to the city because I love Philadelphia. Like that's home for me.
Oh, they love you also too.
Yeah. No doubt about it.
That sucked. You know what I mean? Like even going through that, like watching it was cool, but I did feel it. I would be lying if I said I didn't feel that. You know? But I want them guys to win for sure.
Yeah. Do you believe they should have kept Foles over Wentz?
I don't know.
Nah.
I mean, I think they should have kept Wentz because Wentz people act like that dude wasn't killing. He was killing.
Yeah.
Come on,
man.
You
got to think about the year he was having. Yeah,
you know
he had an
MVP type year.
Yeah. Yes.
So and I'm a Nick Foles guy. I love Nick. Nick nice.
Right.
He's real nice. But I think that Wentz was the right move for sure. Younger, he was doing it. He can run.
I think. Right. I played against Nick, you know, a bunch of times in Philly. I think he's a solid quarterback. I think he's a solid starter, but they made the right decision by keeping Wentz. In my opinion, I just think Wentz obviously got hurt and was never back to the same, you know, caliber player that he once was.
I agree.
But
some of his guys was banged up too. He had a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
Like they got Sean Jackson,
right,
who's a beast. And I played with DJ, but he was hurt.
Right.
So you missing out on that's probably 1,000+ yards. You know what I'm saying? And then
exactly.
So, but he gets all the blame. You know how that is. Quarterback is all the blame.
Yeah. Hey, you was in one of the most unique situations that ever happened in sports.
I can't wait to hear this story, Shady.
Yeah, you was a teammate of Vontae Davis when he retired at halftime. What were you thinking when he? What were you thinking when he told the team that, yo?
And like, I was at 44.
When we came from halftime, it was like what? He retired at halftime? Just
listen, he's so crazy. He think that like, yeah, Shady, hey man, I did history. I did it my way. I'm like, boy, he talk. I'm like, you did it your way. Like, what? Ain't nobody did that before. So he thinking like I did something different. Ain't nobody done retired at halftime. And then to keep it real with you, he really retired like into the first quarter. Like, hey, I'm done, man. It's a young man.
But he was still playing, but he was just out basically, I'm already checked out.
No. He's told Coach, I'm done. So Coach like, all right, just don't worry about it. Like, get yourself ready for the next series. Like, nah, not the next series. I'm finished. He said, all right, man, look. He said, look, don't worry about it. We're gonna get back out to just stay tuned, stay in it. He said, you don't understand what I'm saying, Coach. I'm retired, I'm done. And look. Then the equipment manager said that he was in the locker room showering, right?
He was changing. Yeah.
They say he was like humming, said, like everything good, like going home. And he one of my favorite people though. He a good dude. But
hey, he left a note and everything? They say he left a note too or something like that.
Nah,
or he got a text message or something like that.
I'm not sure, but he got out of there. I know that. Like, I'm gone. I'll see you later.
Man, listen. I when that happened, I was like, man, that got to be some type of joke. Because
like a prank, right?
Too. Yeah.
Like, man, did Shady, did anybody like see that happening with him, or it just kind of came from nowhere? Like leading up to that ball game?
Nah, because
he's like that though. Like, yeah, he's like, I won't say he's just very sporadic. Like, you don't know what you're gonna get from him.
Unpredictable, huh? Because he made.
I'm trying to tell you.
Before that, he made a key third down. He smacked the ball down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They complete and they punt it.
And then he was still in his good. He had good years left. It wasn't like he was old. It wasn't like he was struggling. I mean, he was still one of the best corner on the team, if you ask me, at that time. Because Trey White was young. He was up and coming. You know what I mean? So he still was a veteran, the veteran leader of the group.
Look, he still could help us out. Like, he was still good.
Yeah,
like,
no doubt about it. Good. He was a solid player. No doubt about it.
But I guess, I understand part was like, I've been so good for so long. I don't want to go out there and embarrass myself. And I guess that's what he thought.
Yeah. And during the game though.
Only guy wait is that he finished because, like, I think some dudes was hurt. Some corners was hurt. We were down.
That's what I'm saying. Because you know how them numbers are.
Oh, yeah. And it's like help us out. You know what I mean? Like, quit after the game.
Hey, man. Hey, speaking on numbers though, man, I remember a guy, I can't call his name, but was up. We were playing the 49ers, yo. Limited on numbers. And said he practiced all week and everything. And said he couldn't play. Oh man, it hurt us bad. I can't say the guy's name. I can't put that information out like that.
But then you look at him different after like, man.
Jesus Christ, no doubt about it, man. Come on, man. We work with you all week, and now you come to Sunday and say you can't play. Yeah, come on, man.
That's tough. And like you say, you only dressing a certain amount of guys anyway.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, people don't realize that. Do you remember when you guys played the Cardinals that Sunday? It was Sunday, right? Yeah, you played Cardinals that Sunday. Yeah. You remember that one-hand interception Pat P had on a good one?
I do. Listen, when I be talking to dudes about like real athletes, I'm like, yo, Pat P a real athlete. The dude ain't small. He ain't no small. He ain't small. You know what I'm saying? Running back side. Oh boy, caught it and they got his feet in. I said, that's a bad motherfucker right there. That's a bad boy right there. I seen that.
Hey, kid you not though? When Tyrod was a quarterback, and I already knew when he split out. I think I told Mac this. I said, man, every time they got that +4 split with Goodwin, he's either running a hitch or go. And it was third. It was like 3rd and 12. I was like, oh, he ain't running no hitch.
Yeah, right.
Man, I didn't even look. I read the route for him because I pressed him and I just ran straight down the sideline. Mm-hmm. And I knew I was close on the sideline. I was like, man, I just hope I'm able to get some feet in to this thing because this can be a heck of a catch. And I caught that thing.
I ain't gonna lie. That was crazy though, bro. Like crazy.
Yeah.
And then the thing is,
definitely
the way to get your feet in. This thing got his feet in, like, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That was nice, yo. That was crazy.
One of the best interceptions, I think. One of the best interceptions I've seen over the last decade. Because not to mention, you were going against 4-2. You were going against a legit. You were going against speed. We know Goodwin can run it. Olympian to say the least.
That dude can fly.
No question.
Shady, I know you talked about, your career early on. You said, you thought about contemplating retirement, when you got to Tampa Bay. How you think your future looking right now?
Well, actually, I'm gonna talk to BA next week. We talk a little bit, but we're gonna talk next week. And it's the right team. If not the right team, I'm gonna retire. Had a nice run at it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I get a gold jacket. I got the numbers. Not the championship, so hopefully, I get in there. But it got to be the right team, right fit. Even like now, you get older, they look at you as like insurance. You know what I mean? Like, all right, if the young guys go down, we need you to go in there and play. Which I would have did, and it wouldn't have been no drop off.
Yeah.
But also just they got to be a winning environment. And I think
and good weather.
Good, now for sure. I think when you're older players, like you either cool with just, all right, I'm just playing for money and like stats, or you want to win and be a part of that environment. Because if you getting these numbers, like you're gonna be miserable. One day you wake up like, all right, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I did a lot in my career, and I'm good. So I gotta be the right fit.
Yeah. If you don't play another down, and I know you mentioned the Hall of Fame briefly there, do you believe you should get in the Hall based on what you've done throughout your career?
Yeah, I mean, just not even to brag myself or pump me up, but numbers. I got numbers. I got stats. I got 2 championships. And then I've been the best running back in my decade. I'm not a lot of these dudes been having 3-4 good years and like they make them the greatest.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like since I've been in my era, right? I've been the best in my decade and plus. Everybody can't say that. Right. And I think that's what it's all about. I see dudes in the Hall of Fame, like, not to hate, but I'm better than that dude. Or he played. Another thing is, like, when I was with the Buffalo, people thought it wouldn't be the same because I didn't have like the players around me, and I still was holding it down. You know what I mean? Like holding it down with nobody really around me like that. There's a lot of dudes on that list. They be surrounded with a Hall of Fame quarterbacks and Hall of Fame linemen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like that make it easier.
Yeah.
I get the ball 15 times and still put numbers up. So me and AB was talking about that. We was talking about just like when you get older, you look at things different. Like, dang, I was in a great situation. Like got Hall of Fame lineman with a Hall of Fame quarterback. You know what I'm saying? And you just look at things and that's something that I be looking at other players. Like this dude had all these guys around him and still was just he did okay. So we'll see though. We'll see.
I'll tell you this much.
What's your
you got our vote. I know you got Pat P. 100%. You got my vote.
Appreciate that. I need all the ones I can get.
Hey, I've been retired for some years, and I've been a fan of the game. I was a fan of yours when you was cutting up at Pittsburgh. We shared the same facility. But the way how you jumped into the scene in Philly and just kind of took that backfield to a whole nother level, and Deuce used to love you. Coach Staley, Deuce Staley, we played together. So looking at the longevity of your career, being a part of winning organizations, and as an individual, always considered the top in your position. I mean, and you were a well-rounded guy on and off the football field. I mean, I don't know exactly what the requirements is when it comes to the Hall of Fame, but me personally, I think that's the requirement. When people see you at the top echelon of your position group throughout your career, you got individual numbers, and you won. You helped. Even if you didn't have championships, I still think you should be in the Hall when you're done. Right. You know what I mean? That's just a bonus in my opinion. Because I know a lot of people, they use that ring as the final say-so.
They do. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Right. I don't think that's fair because that's a team-related achievement. Right. You know what I mean? A lot of great players don't win championships. It's not their fault. Right. You know what I mean? But if you're great, you should be great. You should be considered great regardless if you have a championship or not.
Right. Now I agree with that. Hey, real quick before I leave, when the younger dudes, like when you talk about the Steelers and like the Ravens, like that defense, they got that name to them, like that you kind of not saying you fair because you don't fear nothing in sports, but you like alert, like, yo, them dudes bring it. So I'm telling young dudes, like, yo, they ain't, listen, these ain't the old Ravens or old Steelers. Like that name is the name. Right. When I was playing, I played against them old Steelers and old Ravens, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you seen that. Me and Football talking about that. Like these dudes, I'm like, yo, don't let the name and all that get to you. Trust me. Right. Them boys over there, they good, but they ain't the old school Ravens and that's the difference between like playing now and the back then. Like you see the era change, like how physical it is now to back then was real physical, or how like they favor the offense with different rules. So, but that's the funny thing I want to tell you that because all like the old ex Steelers and Ravens, I'll be letting them know like, yo, like people trying to act like the dudes now, and not saying they're not good now, but just the name that carries the weight. It's really from back in the day when they was really doing it. You know what I'm saying?
It was a bar fight. I mean, it was the type of game where you're gonna be in the ice tub from Monday through Friday, and then after the fact, You know what I mean? It's a straight ball fight. It's one of them elementary school fights where you go in the bathroom, you know you're going to get ready to lock it up.
It's going down, right?
It's no question. No question. Last question before we get you out of here and transition to the superlative part. Tom Brady. How many more years you think Tom Brady will play?
4.
You say 4?
4.
Oh, that was surprising.
Listen,
I put him at 50.
Wow. Yeah. No, he won't.
He'll be 47. He'll be 47.
He probably play 2 more years. He probably play 2 more years.
A legit 2 more.
He can play 4 years. Good years.
Okay. Hey, that's big time. All right, superlative part of the show. Rapid fire question. We got a few questions. We're gonna get you up out here, LeSean McCoy. Best moment of the Bucs boat parade.
When we landed and we had the ceremony, and my dog Brady had to leave out. We had a nice good time.
I think I know what you're talking about.
He always so serious, and I like to see that. Okay, my boy human.
Yeah, he let it down a little bit.
Hey, that's what I was gonna say too. Having that picture of Tom Brady tipsy, that was one for
tipsy. Pat, he was all the way day drunk. It wasn't no tipsy.
No, no, I know. I didn't want to put drunk and Tom Brady in the same category. So
it's okay. He human. It's okay.
He human.
Hey, best running back of this century.
Ooh, in the 2000s, who you got?
Adrian
Peterson. Who your top 3 then? Give me your top 3.
All time?
No, in the 2000s, the top 3 running backs in the 2000s.
AP, Frank Gore. AP, Frank Gore.
You had Falk played a little bit in the 2000s.
Yeah, but I like to give you dudes that like I kind of because Falk one of my favorites.
Yeah.
If I do that, I gotta go to, you know what I mean? I'm just going to dudes that like I really
closer
seen
to you
play on the same field. Yeah, on the same field and all that. I would go with either Chris Johnson or Arian Foster.
Yeah.
Ooh, Arian Foster had he had a smooth style.
Arian Foster, nice. Arian Foster was special.
Best snow game player of all time.
Best what?
Snow game player of all time in the snow.
I'm biased now.
It got to be you, right?
Yeah, but I ain't want to say
you go crazy.
Let me get these numbers real quick. In 2013 versus the Lions, 217 yards. 2017 versus the Colts, 156 yards. I mean, and you were making people miss out there, so it got to be you.
Yeah, I'll take that one. I'll take that one now. You give me no choice.
Most talented quarterback you ever played with strictly off talent. Talent. Just strictly off their talent alone.
Talent. Dang. I might say either Pat or Vic. Talent.
Yeah.
You said talent.
Yeah, talent.
Yeah, talent. Yeah, talent.
That mean running, that mean jumping, that mean
everything. Yeah.
Either Pat or Vic.
Now you got to pick one, Shady. You got to pick one.
You got to pick one.
I'm gonna go. All right, Pat.
Okay. Last question for you. Just like me and Pat, we're big time Kobe Bryant fans. What's your favorite Kobe moment ever? Last question.
I got so many. I'm a Kobe fan. I think when he came back home to Philly and got the chip, that was big to me because I'm an Allen Iverson fan and he's a Philadelphia guy.
Yeah.
His last game, Kobe out, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He dropped 60 plus.
Yeah. And then see, I got so many Kobe memories because that's my dog,
Yeah.
So I'll give you them two right there.
No doubt. Well, hey, man, Shady, we appreciate you joining us here, man, on All Things Covered. Patrick Peterson, Bryant McFadden. Before we let you go, anything you want to pull up, anything you want to talk about, highlight, what you got going in this offseason, anything you want to promote?
Oh, no, I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. Right now, I'm relaxing. Might hit some golfing a little bit, chilling out. About to start working out, so I'm chilling.
Okay. And then, like you said, next week, have a conversation with BA, kind of see exactly what the plans will be.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
We'll see. Yep.
Well, I can tell you this much. They might as well just keep you around. You might be the rabbit's foot. So last two destinations.
They want to win. Right?
No question. Right. No question. Hey, would you say you're willing to be a mentor? You're willing to be a productive player when they need you. So it works both ways for both parties.
Yes, sir.
No doubt. Thanks for having me, guys.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, Shady.
Yes,